Jesus. I mean, trust me, man.
Welcome back. It's your man H-Rap coming at you live and direct as we do every week. This is End of the Bench Media, and this is Hold My Beer Sports. Tonight I have a special guest, one of the best people in the history of the world, a guy who's dedicated his life to uplifting young people, a guy who has been a major league scout, owns his own media outlet. He is the one and only Chicago's own Coach Mike Mayden. How's it going, Coach? How's it going?
Everything's doing great. How we doing tonight?
Hey, man, I can't complain. I'm still your line. I'm on with the man. I'm on with the man.
Maybe that's important now. You better stop that.
Hey, I'm on with you, man. I'm just trying to make it, man. It's good to see you. Brought you on this evening because you are one of the people who is keeping, in my personal opinion, in the Chicago metropolitan area, you are keeping baseball alive. Baseball used to be a sport dominated by people from the Jackie Robinson era up until now. And Major League Baseball, up until about 15, 20 years ago, Major League Baseball we had a strong presence there. You know, we grew up with the Dave Winfield. Well, I grew up with the Dave Winfields and the Reggie Jacksons and the Griffey Juniors and the Barry Bonds and the Barry Larkins and so forth and so on. Terry Pendletons, and we can go on and on and on and on and on. And now we have a very small footprint in baseball. I have my own theories behind it. I'm bringing you on because you are You have been part of the movement that's keeping us alive, and you are part of a movement that is creating a developmental league. I want my listeners to know what that's about, and hopefully they can support, and we can all move forward so we can get this thing taken care of. Talk to me about that.
Well, first of all, you named some very elite names that this younger generation don't know about, never heard of. And at the rate we're going, they will never see anything close to it coming up because black kids are not playing baseball. And everybody keeps saying because of basketball or football, but it's because they're not given the opportunity to play on the high school level if they're not at an all-black or predominantly black high school. And they're not getting the opportunity to play on the collegiate level. So as I keep telling everybody, if they're not playing high school, they're not playing college, how they going to get drafted by the major league teams?
Exactly.
So we're trying to change that. We're trying to bring a developmental baseball league for baseball players that have completed their high school eligibility, completed their college eligibility, but still looking, number one, to play baseball and still have room to develop themselves with a developmental league. In essence, it's minor league baseball geared toward the African-American baseball players, but open to baseball players from all walks of life, to give them opportunity to continue playing baseball, develop their skills, and hopefully advance to the ball player that they need to be considered by a major league team, and in some cases even being able to market to overseas baseball teams.
And you know what? That's something I think we need to direct our young people in all aspects as well, in baseball and basketball, because I've often, I'm putting together a forum of basketball coaches for Black History Month because me and Craig, we were talking, and at one point, this was a bastion of basketball. Chicago was basketball all day, every day, twice on Sundays. Yeah. And now our children, like with baseball, are leaving Chicago and they're going to California, and they're out there playing ball. And it looks as if all the talent is being drained out. Some have some coaches on to talk about that. But as you stated, you have to go to a predominantly black high school to be a part of a baseball team. And a lot of people, like you said, they use the excuse of pricing out. And then Major League Baseball puts on this dog and pony show and say, hey, we're doing outreach programs and we want people to come and check out our product, which I personally believe is a lie. If you know anything about that, I think it's just a farce. It's just they put some money out there and then bam, we've done something, so we won't complain. What are your thoughts in regards to that?
Well, it's a PR game. I mean, a few years back, Major League Baseball took a lot of heat, flack, because there were a steady decline of African-American baseball players. When you get the Griffey Juniors, the Torrey Hunter, the Dave Winfield, the Derek Lees and Andre Dawsons, when they moved on,
Mm-hmm.
and retired or aged out of the game, there was no black ball players coming along to replace those players. So
Exactly.
consequently, we got the Latin players coming in, and they constantly coming in. They come in, and we got the non-African American baseball players that are constantly coming in. But you don't have the African American baseball players. And baseball, Major League Baseball, took a lot of flack and a lot of heat about the league of African American baseball players. Let me rephrase that. United States born African American, quote unquote, black players playing in the major leagues.
Mm-hmm.
And they went out and they decided, okay, we got to come up with this strategy, this plan to get more blacks. So they came up with these urban initiatives and urban programs to get more black kids involved in baseball so we can get more kids drafted.
Mm-hmm.
Sports, professional sports is all done now by analytics.
Mm-hmm.
I still know what the heck analytics mean, but they're using analytics, data, number to determine stats, statistics, what a Major League Baseball should be paid based on his performance. They got them same data, stats, analytics to tell them that since we started these urban initiative programs, the number of black players, United States born black players, still has declined in Major League Baseball, has not risen. But nobody addressed that. Major League Baseball is still making its billions of dollars, is still going overseas. The Dodgers just signed a player for a record number of dollars. We're talking about women becoming part of the game. We got women general managers, women trainers, and nobody saying nothing but the white women, and the coach didn't say it, but nobody telling you, where's the black women at? There's only one black umpire in all of Major League Baseball. So the forgotten man on the totem pole is African American baseball player, but they're making billions of dollars and they pumping a few $1 million into urban initiative programs to get the impression they're doing so. They're getting all these retired former Major League Baseball players to run these camps and clinics that when they come in there for one day in June or one weekend in June and run a clinic, you ain't seeing them in the urban initiative program. You ain't seeing them no more to next year. And you ain't getting no more play. Some of them, and I mean, I'm not knocking it. I guess it has its good in it, but you don't see one black player, or I should say, let me rephrase it. You got some black players that benefit from the program and get to go play on the college level. But if you look at the overall, these are guys that would have played on the collegiate level if given the opportunity, whether they were in the urban initiative or not. You couldn't tell me. I saw Ken Griffey Jr. play when he was 16. Now, I don't care if he was which he was playing with a white program anyway. But if you white, black, Chinese, whatever, that type of talent go play on a college level. He go make his way to a college team. So we're not really to the ball players, the elite ball players, when we say urban initiative, because these kids get in this program and they go play on a collegiate level anyway. Now, I understand everybody's not going to play college baseball. Everybody, black, white, Latin, Hispanic, whatever, not go play Major League Baseball. But give us opportunity. Because it's the first insult and a joke to me when all 30 Major League teams have Jackie Robinson Day. They honor Jackie Robinson being the first black United States born African American baseball player to break the color barrier in baseball. But since Jackie Robinson, the numbers have declined to less than 3% of the major league players in the game today. Out of 780 players, less than 3%, less than 30 players are black players, United States born black players in the major leagues right now. And then you celebrating Jackie Robinson being the first black. Every year you're celebrating to break the color barrier. Jackie Robinson Day. No. We got to do better than that. We got to do better than that. And what we've come up with was our own minor league structure called the Independent Developmental League, called a league of our own, right back here. The website is behind me too, where ball players can come together from all over the country, teach them and develop, and they go play nonstop baseball, 30 straight games in 30 days. And what we did to make this unique from the rest, we're going to offer the league in the fall. It's a fall league. So we're not competing with other independent leagues. We're not competing with minor league baseball. We're not competing with the summer collegiate leagues. It is a fall league. We will be outside of major league playoffs and a few other leagues going on. We will be the only pony in town catering to ball players that want to develop their skill and keep playing baseball.
Where will this be held at?
It'll be in Lansing, Illinois, which is, Chicago Southland. So we're bringing it to the Windy City, basically.
Okay. And see, that's the thing. Well, you know what? Before let me take a couple steps back. How can we, because as you stated, there are very few opportunities for young African Americans, American born Black people in MLB. How can we start gearing young people towards this? Because they give you the normal tropes. Well, football and baseball are taking them. But again, when I came up, baseball was the hottest thing in the world. That was our thing. Football was cool and basketball was on the come up, but baseball, Reggie Jackson was the biggest name in the world at that point. It was Reggie Jackson and Dr. J. You either love Reggie Jackson or Dr. J. Those are your only two options. How can we introduce these young people to this? Because it seems, as you stated, with each waning year, we got further and further and further and further away from baseball. How can we get these young people into this?
Well, first of all, we keep hearing the cry that baseball is dying in the inner city. And true, baseball is dying as a whole, but it's not only dying in the inner city and Black communities, it's dying in all communities. Kids have turned to this travel ball, which is supposed to be the best of the best. In most cases, the kids that can afford to pay $2,500, $3,500, $4,500 to play a league. That's really what it is, and they, move around and travel. But what we have to do is we have to go back to the grassroots and get kids on a little league level at 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, get them interested in baseball. And then we have to sell them on the point that there's something for you to look forward to. There's a league that you have an opportunity to play in past the high school level, past the college level, which gives them that incentive to fall in love with the game and realize as they have an opportunity to play. If they're not seeing that vision and that dream of playing on high schools because they go get cut, they're not going to make a college team because they're not playing high school ball. So therefore, they have no chance of getting to the big leagues. And they don't see that opportunity. So now we're affording them that opportunity. And they can continue playing baseball, develop themselves. Being a former major league scout, one of the talk among the scouts when it came to the inner city, which is code word for the Black kids, is their talent and ability is raw. They 2 to 3 years behind a developed ball player. And in most cases, the average inner city kid or the average baseball player, period, is raw. It's a stigma that's stuck on African Americans, but most kids that don't have any real training and instruction on how to use their tools, they're raw. And that's what the minor leagues used to be for, is to take undeveloped kids or raw kids and let them go spend time in the minor leagues and teach them and develop them. Now, the minor leagues have become so much of a business, they want to polish kids. They don't want to take time kids that got ability. You see Griffey Jr. ability in him, but it's going to take you 3 to 4 years in the minor leagues to get him to that Griffey Jr. ability. Then it's going to take you another 2 years to get him to the point that he's ready for the major leagues. I mean, when I talked to Maury Reels told me he spent 8 years in the minor leagues, all because he was a guy called Jackie Robinson. He spent 8 years. And today, that's unheard of for a player that's going to play in the big leagues. Now, if you got, a lot of people don't know, in the minor leagues, you got guys that's just going to fill out a minor league roster that they don't plan or don't even see in their vision of making to the big league. Well, you'll spend 8 years then, but if you, Griffey Jr., you're up and coming Reggie Jackson, they going to expect you to be in the big leagues in 2 years now.
Exactly.
So they ain't going to spend 4 years getting you ready before they invest that 2 years.
And see, that seems to be the problem, because people don't understand. Well, we live in this microwave society, and things like Amazon that you remember me and you, if we ordered something out the sales catalog, we had to wait a week or two to get it. If you order something out the Spiegel's catalog, you had to wait a week or two to get it. Now you order something at 3 o'clock, it could be at your house by 8 p.m. So people are expecting this. And then we've even tricked, in my personal opinion, we've even tricked fans into believing that if you, if you get drafted today for the National Football League, you should be starting in September. No, they're making a lot of money. Just because you're making a lot of money does not mean that you're ready for success physically. I mean, mentally and in regards to fundamentally, that's two totally different things. You may not be mentally prepared, and I think that's why we see so much failure, which I personally believe is the beauty in baseball. It prepares you for the ups and downs in life. 30% is excellent. So I believe this is something we need to push our kids towards, because it is being a former baseball player, it is a very frustrating activity. And when you're playing something that's frustrating and people are not, and success isn't just give it to you. You striking out more times than you actually hitting the ball. When the ball is coming at you fast, you have to prepare for it. You have to be squared away. You have to keep your hands down, things like that. I think those kinds of things prepare you for life. So I totally agree with you. We need to get kids back into baseball, because then they'll understand everything will not be handed to you. You have to develop. You have to practice. You have to work at this in order to be better. Is that what you guys are trying to establish in League Wrong?
That's what we're trying to establish. We're trying to get the ball players mentally and physically prepared. Because as you said, first of all, as an inner city kid, and as a whole, but we're just talking about inner city kids right now. When you go away and play baseball in other cities, other states, in most cases, these players, a lot of people don't know this, they go through a cultural shock. When you used to playing with all black kids, and all of a sudden you go in an environment where you're the minority, and the coach is different. You're playing with white kids, and you're playing with guys that don't even speak the language. That's a culture shock that most of these guys got to adjust to. And then you got ball players that got to adjust to that experience when they go away from high school to college, if they get a chance to play college, that they have to get accustomed to being away from home. You can go away for a weekend trip or this and that, but when you out on your own, you got to take care of yourself. Those are cultural shocks as well. When you got to learn to wash, clean, know when to be in line, the food line to eat, and when not to, and what to say. You can talk hood and slang, as we call it, on the streets, but when you go into other cultures and talk that, it's a different world.
Exactly.
So you got to learn how to adjust and see that's out there trying to play baseball, and all these other things going through their minds that they got to, and baseball is a mental game. And then you come from the inner city where you playing on poorly kept fields, no home run fences. Now you getting out there and you seeing fields that are dragged and cut and grass, and all of a sudden you get out there and you got to feel the ground ball on the infield, and it's taking a true hop. And and they say, see the ball in with your hand, your top hand, see it in. Well, on a city field, you don't know when that ball will take a hop at the last second.
Exactly.
So these are culture shocks, and then all of a sudden, you out there, and you get umpiring that you ain't used to, where a pitch ain't no strike, but it's called a strike, and it's a ball and it's called a strike. So all these are adjustments you got to go, and then you got to keep it to yourself. And then you get out there and certain music you like to listen to, and all of a sudden you listen to country music. You ain't never heard no country music. These are the culture shocks. The guys got to be prepared for, and this is what we do in development. It's not just you getting out there and play baseball. We're preparing you mentally and physically to get out there. I had a kid that played in my program. He went on to be drafted by a major league team. I won't name the team, but he was an early round draft pick. And I was talking to him some years later, and he told me, I was like an 18-year-old kid going off on my own to play ball. And I was playing against grown men. 18, 21, 22, you're in the minor leagues, And he said, I'm hanging out after the game with grown men. He told me how he got off into drinking. He didn't drink. He got off into drugs. I didn't know all this stuff. This is like 10 years or so later, we were talking. He was telling me about his minor league experience. How he got into drugs because he was hanging out. Thought that was the thing. So these are culture things. So you got to educate kids on these are things you don't do. These are things you don't say. These are places you don't go. So it's more than, again, just playing baseball. We got to educate these kids on what it takes to leave that environment, go into another culture, and how you make the adjustment. Because it takes you, realistic, your first, maybe second year to become comfortable and relaxed enough where you can go out there and play. So this is what a developmental league do. This is what a pre-minor league, instructional league does. It not only allows you to play baseball, allows you to become mentally prepared, because even on the major league level, they'll tell you that the mental aspect is the biggest part of the game.
Most definitely.
Because you get up there, I won't call no name, but one major league ball player, everybody thought he was great. And I look at this guy every day, I say, this guy cannot hit. Everybody, he go come around. He might have led his college team in hitting, but when you leave college and they put a wooden bat in your hand and you go play in the minor leagues, it's a difference in day and night. It's real baseball.
Yes. And that's the thing, man. And then, one of my favorite things about Major League Baseball, and and I keep bringing up basketball because I think they're parallel in regards to opportunities. One of the things I really like about baseball is this: just because you don't make the majors, don't mean you can't get paid. There are opportunities all over the world, literally all over the world. You have Major League ball players for whatever reason they get run out of the league, personality, attitude, just can't cut it. And they go over to other places and blow up and make a very good living. I have a cousin who did it with basketball. And this is one of the opportunities I want. This is one of the reasons I'm glad that you're doing this, because it does afford you the opportunity to get some development. And then you can get some practice. Once you get the practice in, you may be picked up somewhere else. It doesn't have to be MLB for you to continue to pursue your dream. I always ask young people when they talk to me about being a professional athlete, I always say, do you want to be a professional athlete, or do you want to be in the NBA? It's a difference. Do you want to be an MLB player? Do you want to be a professional baseball player? And something like this, I think, really affords these young people the opportunity to do exactly what they set out to do, and that's to be a professional athlete, no matter what it is. Because, hey, guess what? The Canadian Football League, those checks cash too.
Yeah, and what I tell people, we had a league going about 4 or 5 years ago, and we had to fold it after the first 30 days because a lot of the funding that was committed to us didn't come through, and we just couldn't pay the bills. If you can't pay the bills, in the business world, they file bankruptcy. People file bankruptcy. That's what it's called. You couldn't pay the bills. So, you had, but for 30 days or so, this league was going, and these guys were out there playing every day. And you could not tell them that they were not in the major leagues. That was their major leagues. That was their major leagues. And when we found out, or the decision was made that we had to fold the league, some of these guys came to me, they said, look, coach, we don't care if we don't get paid. We just want to play baseball. We'll play for free. Or some, we don't have no money to pay the bill. We got to pay to rent the field. We got to pay the umpires for baseball. We got expenses that go with it. So we have to fold the league for whether we want to or not. No, we don't want to. But what we did differently this year is we're going to reorganize this under non-for-profit. Then we can go out to donations. We can go out to grants. And then just like with the summer league, we made it a fee-based league. Where the kids got to pay a fee to be in the league, which allows us the seed money we need to keep the league going until we bring on sponsors and underwriters and get grants. And then we can reduce or eliminate the fee. But it allows us to pay the umpires, pay the field, pay all those expenses that people just don't realize to go with running the league.
Exactly.
So, but these guys, again, not only that, we have an entrepreneurship component. Most of these leagues put an educational component to it, college tours and this and that, so they can get funding, because for most organizations to fund, they're not going to just fund baseball. Got to be an educational component. Well, we got an entrepreneurship component where we teach guys we go live stream the game. So we'll teach them how to broadcast the game, how to work the camera, how to be announcers, how to do pre and post game, how to coach the bases, how to run concession, and how to run a team. So not only are they learning how to play baseball, they're learning the inner workings and management of sports. Sports management is what we go offer. So therefore, they can go out and be a sports broadcaster. They can go out and teach kids how to play, coach the right way. So that's that component. And they can be umpires. We're gonna have an umpire training program where we train high school and young guys how to umpire. There's a lot of money out there being high school umpires, and
yes, indeed.
And, $75, $85 a game ain't bad for a little side hustle. And how to do college, prepare them for college games, and maybe even get into the minor leagues. Guys don't have that mindset of becoming a professional umpire, becoming a college umpire. We go put that in a psyche, in a mindset. It's more than baseball than just playing the game. And then, as I said earlier, we go network with those overseas teams, and we go put these players that have the baseball talent and ability and give them opportunity to go overseas and play baseball.
And see, that's exactly what I want to do, because I'm about to start a program at my church. And that's what I want to do. I want to introduce young people to other opportunities besides, hey, I can run, catch, throw. I can manage. I can scout. I can general manage. I can help develop. I can coach. I mean, I can do anything. I could be a hitting coach. I could be a swing coach. I could be a pitching coach. It seems as if that aspect of all the sports that are presented to us is gone because simply we don't talk about those things. And I think it's about time for us to start talking about those things. If we really want our young people as a part of this, we either, men like myself and yourself, we need to step up and get involved because that's how we came up. We didn't have I always bring up my coaches, Jimmy Fields, Willie Green, Fred Thomas, Ray Shannon, and a host of others, Vince Carter, so forth. I guess it's a million of them out there. Well, not a million, but you know what I mean. It's a ton of them out there. And they made sure we didn't sit still for 5 minutes. And that aspect is gone. And that's how I got into baseball because the very first thing my Uncle Richard, who had a cup of coffee with the Spurs, did was he gave me, back in the late 70s, he handed me a baseball bat and glove. Me being left-handed, it was worthless to me, but he still gave me the baseball, and then he came back later and gave it to me. But he gave me a baseball and a glove, and at that point, I'm into sports, and then I'm watching him play basketball, and then I'm watching Franco Harrison, and so that means, guess what? It was a man in the community and men in the community that said, hey, allow me to help you. We must get behind you in this, and so we can help you be successful. You mentioned this is a 501c3. What's the name of the website? And do you have a donation tab so we can put that on there?
A League of Our Own 247.com, or you can go to ALOOO247.com. There's a donation link on there where you can get on there and give anywhere from $50 to $100,000 to help support the league. We got about $150,000 budget, and we're looking for donations. Those out there that know somebody, it's all about who you know that want to get on there. You give $100, we'll see you through. $50, you give a hat. It's all on there. So again, it's just to generate boosters, to generate supporters, and to generate interest in the league because we have to be able to ourselves. And the one thing that we have as Black people, we don't believe in giving. We don't believe in supporting. And then we wonder why other programs. I've been with T-Mobile for over 20 years now. I didn't realize until I called them and they said, we thank you for being a customer valued customer for 20 years. It hasn't been that long. But I said that to say this. When I look at certain commercials and I see what T-Mobile is sponsoring that commercial, well, guess part of my phone bill that I pay every month is going to pay to sponsor that, whether I want to or not. So we're sponsoring things that we support every day, whether we have a word it. We have a choice where we can support and sponsor this league the same way that T-Mobile is taking part of your payment, your monthly payment to pay for these commercials. Because I tell people, when you watching the Super Bowl and this and that and the soap operas on TV and those commercials come on, those are their sponsors. That's how they make their money. That's how they pay. That's the network sponsors. That's how they pay their bills. So, when you watching Super Bowl, I think someone paying as much as $3, $4, $5 million to run a 30-second commercial in the Super Bowl.
Man, that was last year. Those last year prices. They might be paying 5 to 7 now.
They may be paying more now for a 30-second commercial.
Exactly.
And if you watching this show right now and a commercial break come in, you got to understand, if it's a national show, it means it's being seen all over the world. People in New York seeing a different commercial than what they seeing in Chicago, than what they seeing in Vegas. So all that money being made off that one little 30-second commercial, there's a different commercial in every city, every state. So this is how business and corporation make or the TV market make their money off of those commercials that run. They advertise. And all we're saying is this: how we sustain ourselves is by people getting on the website or calling us up, the phone number on there, and saying, how can we support this league? It sounds like good. I mean, I get, when it hit the press release here, you get all kind of old Negro League players that called and old schoolers that called, and they're excited about it. You're doing something for black baseball. It's a long time coming. Somebody called and said, what can I send you a check? What can I send you a donation? Knowing that they got to keep this league going. Or then they'll be saying, oh, wait a minute, the league folded. He took the money and skipped town. He stole the money and the league gone. No, it takes money to run a league. It takes money to run your house.
Exactly. And that's the thing, man. I'm sick of people always assuming the worst. So when we continue to assume the worst, that's what we're gonna get the worst. You speak things into existence, or you keep quiet and things go away. So thank you for always standing behind this topic, which is promoting black baseball, giving young people opportunities, and broadcasting about baseball, because they can keep telling us, oh, well, it's dying. It's only dying because you continue to attempt to buy, to price us out of it. I'm a firm believer, and as a group, we need to start, like I said, I'm going to have those coaches on later on in February, and I'm going to ask them some of the questions. Why is it that we keep stripping our kids away? Why do we, and some of the best basketball players in the country are right here in Chicago, why are we not creating a league right here in Illinois or right here in Cook County and have people come to us? Because we got some of the more competitive people. We have some of the most basketball knowledge, baseball knowledge. And why are we bringing people to us? Why are we going to New York? Why are we going to LA? Why are we going to the South to develop our situations? And we have the talent and ability right here, as well as the finances.
Well, that's what put basketball on the maps for DePaul. They went out to the Chicago Public League guys, to Teddy Grubbs, to Mark McGuire, Terry Cummings, to Skip Dillard, and they built themselves into a national powerhouse. And then for whatever reason, they left the Chicago market, or the Chicago coaches cut them off, depending on who you talk to.
It is.
That, though. And then they had to reach out outside of Chicago to get ball players, and then you had Illinois, you had a great baseball, and that's what happened basketball. That's what happened when the Illinois High School Association realigned the basketball and football, and the downstate and suburban schools were nervous, because if you realigned it and shifted those Chicago public high schools that were strong in basketball into other regions, they felt they will be winning more state titles, because now they weren't knocking each other off in the city playoffs. They would spread out through the entire state, and you had a few teams make it down there. You had King, and you had the Whitney Youngs, and you had the Julians, and you had some of the other schools.
Yeah,
exactly. And we don't have to talk about Dorothy Gator. She's known for a basketball legend now, but it's always a thrust to keep the black players down.
Exactly. And one of my supporters even just mentioned Rob Strickland. He's a friend of the show. He's been on the program, and he said, "Get this: He said him coming to DePaul had absolutely nothing to do with Joey Meyer or Ray Meyer. Guess how he said he got recruited by DePaul? WGN. He said he used to watch DePaul on WGN and see those guys from the city of Chicago that put DePaul on the map, the Teddy Grubbs, the Mark Aguirres, the Skip Billis, the Bernard Randolphs, as you just stated, and they made him want to come here. So that's just why I continue to say what we can do is reestablish Chicago's athletic dominance as well as their academic dominance and put ourselves back on the map, and then people will come here again and we can reap the benefits of them coming here.
And that's what we want to duplicate with a league of our own. We want to go out there and we go live stream these games all over the world. And kids and baseball players is looking for opportunity to play baseball, go see this opportunity, and they go want to come. They go get on that website. You got it right there. They go get on that website and they go register and they go register and they go register. And all of a sudden we're going to have to spend this league. We had to go from 4 teams to 6 teams to 8 teams. Then we're going to have to go from Lansing to Indiana to Wisconsin. We're going to have to franchise and then go to other cities because the league will grow so fast. Because trust me, I've been at this game 43 years now. There's hundreds and thousands of baseball players out there that's looking for the opportunity to play baseball that don't know where to go. They don't know outside of their community, where can I go to find their quality league? Where can I play good baseball? And this is what we're trying to do. We're getting ready to start a radio campaign that's getting ready to go into Indiana and Ohio and Atlanta and Wisconsin. And we go hit the airways, letting people know a league of our own is here. You're looking for opportunity to play baseball. You've aged. And there's another thing. We're not trying to compete with these developmental leagues and this and that or the urban initiative program. We're looking for kids that have aged out of that program. They're too old to play in that program, and they need some place to play baseball. So you would think that every coach out there that's doing travel ball, especially these black coaches out here, they got kids that in age out of their program and still want to play baseball. You would be telling them, hey, man, get on that website, register, get involved in that league. But guess what? The biggest resistance you come from is your black coaches. Now figure that one out. Your black coaches that's coaching 17, 18-year-old kids that in age of their program, you think they'll open their mouth and say, hey, here's an opportunity for you to play baseball. Here's a league, you can go play. It's going to cost you a little bit of money, but wait a minute. You paid $3,000 to play in my league. It's only going to cost you $1,000 to play in this league, and you go play every day when you only play 3 or 4 weekends during the summer in travel ball with me.
And didn't play every game of that.
And didn't play every game.
See,
so, that's our problem. We can't work together. Consequently, we get nowhere. And then we wonder why you only got 3% in the major leagues. Why you ain't got black coaches at HBCs. Because guess what? We can't work together. You wonder why you had to fold the league because you couldn't put together $50, $20, $100, $1,000 and fund the league, but you can go out there and spend $4,000 for your son to play travel ball, and he's sitting on the bench, F.E. Black.
Or you could spend $200 on them gym shoes, or you could spend, you could buy those expensive bags and all those other things that we spend frivolously, but don't invest in our own future and our own progression into things that'll benefit us. It's a sad commentary. It is definitely a sad commentary, Coach.
Don't talk about the gym shoes. They go cut the show off. You talk about the gym shoes. You talk about the belts and the bags, but you talk about them gym shoes. They turning the show off, and they ain't gonna see where to go to the website
at. Yeah, but it's the truth, man. We allocate our funds in the wrong directions, and then we complain that things aren't coming our way. We worry about the wrong thing. We major in the minors. At this point, we're gonna start majoring in the major, and the major thing is to attach ourselves to things that are beneficial to us and only us. So this is a league of your own, www.ALOO247.com to support my man, my coach, Coach Mike Mayden, and continue and tell them about your show too, Coach. Before you go, tell them about your show so they can support you as well.
Well, I mean, we've been doing baseball for 40 plus years. We've been cover the major league teams. We cover the high school playoffs. I mean, anywhere in sports, the coach will be found. So you can go to my website at MEM247.com and see what we're doing there. We've got a podcast, which is birthed out of being on your show the first time. I said, wait a minute, let me get me a podcast going. Everybody got podcasts. Ain't know nothing about how to do no podcast, but we made it work.
Yeah, that's what's up, Coach. Thanks, man. Thanks for the pat on the back. It is appreciated. You have definitely helped me throughout the years. Man, anytime you have anything to promote, you don't even need an invitation. Just text me. Hey, are you on? It's a Wednesday night. Yes, I have time to fit you in. That's the beauty in a podcast. It could be 15 minutes or it could be 5 hours. That's the beauty in it. There's no such thing. I can't fit you in right here, Coach, because no, I can fit you in right here because it's a podcast and I have time for you. I want to share you with my audience at all times.
There you go, making me feel important again.
Nah, Coach, you are important, man. There's many young people you helped over the years. God bless you. God bless you. All right, Coach, let's get on with the rest of this football talk. And I will be in contact with you soon. Thank you, Coach. Thank you for sharing your time with me. Have a good evening. God bless.
Thank you for the time. Peace out. And don't forget, y'all get on that website and all info's on there.
A League of Our Own. Please support. Please support. Please support. Buy some merch. Go make a donation. You know, he don't mind no kind that jingle, but he's looking for the kind that fold. All right. With that being said, thank you again, Coach. Have a nice evening.
Peace out.
All right. People. That is my coach, Coach Mike Mayden. I told y'all, man, there's people who have helped me and millions and millions and millions of thousands and thousands of people throughout the Chicagoland, Cook County area. He used to be a scout for the Cincinnati Reds and a couple other teams. This is an awesome man. He's helped thousands of people. He's continuing to help thousands of people. He has his podcast. Please support him and the League of Our Own. And then continue to support me. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that share. Tell a friend that I am on. It's going down. This is Hold My Beer Sports. I am H-Rap B. I'm in the building at all time. It's Wednesday, so you know what that means. We are going to remain, we're going to stay on air, and then we're going to move towards the National Basketball Association. The NBA used to be a staple in my life. It's okay now. You know, I don't mind being the Hold My Beer. This is Hold My Beer Sports, and I don't mind being the curmudgeon, get off my lawn dude. A lot of people, oh man, you're going to sound like you get off my lawn dude. Well, that's who I am, man, because I'm old school. You know, a lot of people think old school means grabbing dudes and, you know, they show you the highlights of the old school Pistons and Isaiah Thomas and his crew and them knocking people down. And no, that's not what it is. That's not old school basketball. That's actual basketball. When you play basketball on the basketball court in the community and then in playgrounds and things of that nature, you know what you get? When you get too close to the rim, you get a little bump. When you go up and you think you're going to style out on somebody, they're going to make sure you're not comfortable doing that. That's the way you play basketball your entire life. So stop pretending as if people who you've played with your entire life don't play the exact same way. Let's get away from that nonsense. And you got coaches coming out. You got Steve Kerr saying that they're trying to let me send a shout out to the people in the chat room. I got my nephew, Mike Williams. I got my man Patar in the building. I got number one Chief Rocker Jersey Brown. My man CJ, fresh out of Texas, from Plays by CJ. Subscribe to his page as well. And I got my man Anthony, DJ Mad Knox in the building. Thank y'all for the support. I saw my man Drew come in earlier. Please hit that like, hit that share, tell a friend to tune in. Back to it. Man, when you got coaches out here complaining, look, you can say it's cap. That's the new thing. Cap, hat, draws, whatever it's going to be. You can say what it is, but this is not a competitive game. It's this thing that there is a statement that came out around the early 70s called rugged individualism, and that's what is infesting sports. Sports is getting away from teamwork, and it's become individualized. Look, we love Michael Jordan, we love Kobe Bryant, we love Allen Iverson, and other one-on-one players and dudes who could put a team on their back. But what y'all don't realize is it was a system that they were running up until it came time for them to take over the game. Now, when you watch the National Basketball Association, in my opinion, they're more skilled. Yeah, you can dribble and you can do a whole lot of practice drills, and you got, oh wow, you can dribble with your left hand, but most of y'all don't. When y'all on the left side of the rim, y'all still don't lay it up with your left hand. You're on the right side of the rim, you still don't lay it up with your right hand. But you can shoot from half court. You can shoot from 40 feet away, which actually does nothing for your team, because if you make it, it looks good on the Sports Center. But if you miss it, it's a fast break layup the other way. This is why you got coaches like Brandon Malone and Steve Kerr complaining. This is becoming a joke. It is no longer fun to watch. No, look, it's starting to look like this game that we used to play on PlayStation and Sega Genesis called Double Dribble. As soon as you got the ball in Double Dribble, you hit the shoot button and drag your man to the top corner of the screen, and he hit that three more times than not. You could be down 15 and you just start, take your man to the top of the corner and hit the three. It's not fun to watch. It's fun to play a video game in that fashion, but it's not fun to watch the National Basketball Association. If you don't agree, all I want to know is this. Why is it that every time you turn on the Sports Center, you seeing Devin Booker scoring 63 to 70? You seeing Luka Doncic 63 to 70? You seeing my man KTP, Big Cat up in Minnesota scoring 63? You seeing Joel Embiid scoring 60? Is that real, or is that just that they're not playing any defense? When was the last time you seen a pick and roll? Remember when we used to, it don't even have to be a long time ago. Let's talk about Amari Stoudemire. When last time we seen somebody like Amari Stoudemire getting off? Look, the dunks, everybody loves a dunk, but guess what? The best game I've watched in the last 3 to 5 years in a basketball capacity was LSU versus South Carolina State. The LSU Lady Tigers and South Carolina Lady Gamecocks. That's what it was. That was the best game. Was it high flying and dunking? No, because I actually used to play basketball at one point in my life, and I understand that basketball isn't dunks and highlight videos and 3-pointers. You can actually run plays. You can actually have strategy. You can actually wear people down, and that's what those ladies are doing. A lot of y'all, a lot of the brothers out here, a lot of the men out here go, oh man, I don't want to watch them because they don't dunk. That's because you've been raised by ESPN to watch sports. Did you ever play? A lot of men that I know can't dunk a basketball. As a matter of fact, when I was coming up, about 45 to 50% of the men who were under 6 feet could dunk. I was lucky enough to be one of them that could dunk. That's all I could do, though. But I had a little wiggle and I get to the rim. But my thing is this: can you actually play? Can you actually play? Like my man Patah, I think that's Patah still. He said no defense in the NBA. The big man has been taken out of the game. The centers are shooting threes. Exactly. Think about that. My man just said the centers are shooting threes. What's the advantage of playing basketball? The advantage of playing basketball is being tall. So if the rim is 10 feet high and the top of your head is 7 feet high, why would you take a shot 22 feet away from your advantage? That means you are literally like a foot and a half away from just laying the ball up. And you're going to get away from the rim and shoot the ball 22 feet away. Explain that. Make that make sense to me, people. It doesn't. You know why it don't make sense? Because it's stupid. Look, everybody loves my man Steph Curry. But the thing is, y'all don't even know that Steph Curry got mad wiggle. He got manhandles. He could pass like it ain't a whole lot of people passing better than him. But they don't ever show you that. They just show you Steph Curry shooting from the cheap seats. That's it. He's shooting from the cheap seats. How about showing us the entire game? Understand that it's a nonsensical way to watch sports. You can disagree with me, but look, all I'm gonna say to you, I'm gonna name 3 people. Most people that will ever view this, if you're old enough, these 3 people are 3 of your favorite players. When I name these guys, they're gonna be, if you had a top 10, you would put 2 of these 3 people in the top 5. And this other dude, he's gonna be a top 10. I'm gonna even name 4. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bean Bryant, Allen Iverson, and Dwayne Wade. Neither one of them, all 4 of those guys are one of your favorite players. I guarantee you, it will not be a person that watches this that does not rank them highly. Neither one of those guys shot a lot of 3-point shots. Kobe will probably be the person who shot the most, but he didn't shoot a high volume of threes. You know why? Because it's easier to shoot a 16-foot shot or drive to the hole and get fouled and hit the free throw than it is to shoot a 3-point shot. That's stupid. It's stupid. And you see the game evolved, age rap, and you just don't understand. You need to get with the times. No, because I'm a former athlete. I'm a former player. Again, best basketball player, but guess what? I am going to shoot. I did what I was good at. I was left-handed, so I faked right. Most people in the world are right-handed. Y'all fools never caught on, unless y'all was one of my homeboys. I even had people tell me, hey, man, you good with your left. Yeah, I'm great with my left because I'm left-handed, fool. And laid it up a lot or banged on people a few times. Shout out to Ed Brown. First person that ever dunked on everybody in the hood. Yeah, man, love for EB, but I had to tell it. Brown. Don't make sense to me either. These center shooting threes, high percentage shooting in the paint is for center. Exactly. This is why my man Joker is killing the game right now. This is why Embiid is starting to kill the game. Yeah, Embiid, you got wiggle and you can take it from the three, but you start scoring 30 and 35 points when you start centering your game around the rim. Big Joker, he can shoot from three, and he'll drop it from three. But you know what he does the most of his work? Off the dribble, backing people down. Can't nobody contend with him, and he's hitting a bunch of layups and going to the free throw line. That's one of the beauties of Embiid. This is a dude who is 7 feet tall. This is a dude who takes his time and he took his time to develop his game. It's not about the three-point shot. Well, Steph Curry changed the game, just like Michael Jordan changed the game, and a bunch of you dummies ran out here trying to dunk from the free throw line and didn't develop your handle and didn't develop anything else and didn't develop your jump shot because you were working on, when he got older, you worked on a Michael Jordan fadeaway, and when he was younger, you was trying to dunk. But y'all didn't pay attention to the fact that when Michael Jordan drove to the right, he drove with his right hand. When he drove to the left, he drove with his left hand. When he laid it up on this side, so forth and so on. This dude was a absolute basketball savant. Joker be bodying these boys in the paint. Exactly. He wearing you out. I have the ability to shoot a three-point shot. That does not mean I'm going to spend my entire night shooting three-point shots. Period. Now, with that being said, let me move on over to the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks made a few trades, and now they've had the best record in the NBA in January. They're third in the Eastern Conference. Are the New York Knicks for real, or are they just going to get to the second round again and then lose? Me personally, I believe the New York Knicks going to get to the second round and lose again. I love Jalen Brunson. This dude, I wanted the Bulls to get him. I thought he was a big-time ball player. I predicted that when he was coming out of Villanova that he was going to be the player of the year. He became the player of the year. He went on to be a winner with the Dallas Mavericks. They haven't been the same without him. And I honestly believe that Jalen Brunson is one of the better guards in the league. But here's the thing. He doesn't have that next level to him. I think he's a great piece. He's a great Robin. The New York Knicks are a team filled with Robins. They don't have a Batman. That's why they continue to struggle throughout the seasons. They need a Batman. Oh, well, this guy's scoring 25. It don't make a difference if he's scoring 25 or 29. If you are not Batman, you're not Batman. James Harden was scoring 33, 34 at one point. Was he ever Batman? No, he isn't. No, he wasn't. And nor will he ever be. You need a lead dog on your team. The New York Knicks, you will continue to disappoint your fans because back in the day, we were the Knicks. Oh, yeah, when Patrick Ewing was there, let's just do a little back mapping. When Latrell Sprewell was there, he was a lead dog. When Patrick Ewing was there, he was a lead dog. When Bernard King was there, he was a lead dog. Clyde Frazier, Willis Reed, and Earl Monroe lead dogs. That's how you get somewhere. Just because you have very goods does not mean you're number one. You might be the best player on that team, Kevin Love, but that doesn't mean you're going to lead them to a championship. What you have to do is get a lead dog, New York. Otherwise, you will continue to be a mediocre team making the playoffs, never going anywhere else. With that being said, I want to go over to Email Doka. Big ups to Email Doka and to the Boston Celtics. Thank you guys for firing him. And whoever has an issue with him,
Sit your ass down. Sit your ass down.
That's what I'm saying. Because Email Doka has taken the culture of the Houston Rockets and turned it around. They didn't have a whole lot of turnover. They signed Fred VanVleet. They signed homie from the Memphis Grizzlies. I can't think of his name right now. And they are playing actual basketball. They're playing defense and defense only. My main man, Gilbert Arenas, loves to talk about how defense don't mean anything. Ain't nobody paying attention to defense. And this is why Gilbert Arenas used to get put out the first round of the playoffs every year. Because Gilbert was all about scoring. Gilbert was all about scoring. So Gilbert is a basketball. He's a basketball genius, in my opinion. This dude knows what's up. I'm gonna ask my man Big Mo. He knows basketball like no other. But I also understand that Gilbert Arenas was a basketball offensive-minded person. So he's only thinking about the things that he did and how things get better. This is why Gilbert Arenas isn't a coach, because you can't tell him anything about the game because he's just worried about what he did and what made him successful. But what makes you successful as a basketball player is not what's best for the team. Email Doka is playing defense. He is not going to win a championship, but he is creating a culture in which, with a whole lot of salary cap room and a whole lot of talent, they might be able to pull something out of the draft this year. Or how about this? NBA newsflash: stop. STOP, capital S, capital T, capital O, capital P. Stop drafting people at 16, 17, 18 years old. For real. Allow them to develop. The stupidest thing, and I said that I wasn't studying. The stupidest thing that you can do is draft somebody at age 19 and expect them to be Kobe Bryant or Kevin Garnett or even LeBron James. That's just stupid. Tracy McGrady, you don't find, look, how many guys have we drafted, have we seen as fans come across the NBA screen and they look real good for about 5 minutes and then they should get better, but they never had an opportunity to develop their skills. They never had an opportunity to develop what they do. So if you don't develop your craft, how could you possibly be expected to be a great ball player? The NBA is not into teaching you how to play the game. That's just not what they do. You know what the NBA do? They get paid. So if you want a good league, again, National Basketball Association, stop drafting dudes 1 year out of college. Stop discounting people as they get better and start looking at the development of players. There are some instances, a Magic Johnson, an Isaiah Thomas, a Mark Aguirre, a Dominique Wilkins, a Dr. J, a Chris Webber, that this college thing is only holding me back. Indeed. But sometimes you look at it and you look at a Grant Hill. You look at a 3-year invested Allen Iverson. You look at a 4-year invested Tim Duncan. These guys, outside of the injury with Tim Duncan, these guys played a ton of years, and that's why they were able. They developed their abilities, they developed their talent, and they developed a mentality in which it allowed them to excel. Most people who come in after learning the system, understanding the deficiencies in their game, they develop those deficiencies and make them positives, and then you get the quality basketball. Otherwise, you'll continue to get guys who can score 20, 25 a night and shoot the threes and do a whole lot of trick plays and dribble through their legs and take stupid shots and do no-look passes, but never come to a position to whereas they are developed and move forward. Am I asking? See, it will be, I could feel it in the air. It's somebody out there who watching. You telling them not to take no money? If that's what you hear, please don't ever come back because you're too stupid to watch my show. I'm gonna keep it funky. Don't watch no more. But if you assume what I'm saying, that no, I'm not telling somebody who's in a disenfranchised situation to pass up on the money. I'm asking the National Basketball Association to get people who are developed so we can enjoy what we used to love. And then at that point, you'll have a more competitive league, and a more competitive league means more gambling. More gambling means more money to you. More gambling, more competitive leagues means more eyes on the league. More eyes on the leagues means more money for you and the players. Make sure you do that. This is why football is king, because they develop their players. And if you're a smart team, i.e. Andy Reid, you allow your player to sit on the bench, learn as he watches, and then come out there. I mean, they pay him too much to be watching. You think they pay him too much? Then just ask yourself this question. Would you pay someone too much if you were to run the league? No, they're not. Why you think the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, anytime they're getting ready to get sued by their players, they never want to open their books? Because the money that they're reporting making is not the money that they're actually making. They're probably making double or triple. If you have enough money to put $4 billion on the table, or $2 billion on the table, or even $1 billion on the table to obtain a basketball team, football team, or baseball team, you know how much money you probably already have? Way more than that. If you've accumulated that much money, trust me, There's no such thing as waiting for the development. It's called ROI, return on investment. I like the dude who just bought the Cubs a few years ago, Ricky. He bought the Cubs. They were in the ground. And then he started investing around the neighborhood, built a hotel, built a whole lot of restaurants. Next thing you know, the Cubs win the World Series in that area that was already booming. It's through the roof. Do the same thing when you're doing these players. With that being said, the last basketball topic I'm going to come up with, and if y'all like, y'all can participate in the show. If you got some argumentative to say, be a participant. Kevin Durant wants to be a part of the GOAT conversation. Does he belong there? I saw my man Cook talking about it last night, and he made some valid points. For me personally, I don't think he's even in the conversation. I don't even think he's in the stratosphere for GOAT. Is he one of the greatest scorers we've ever seen? Of course he is. Is he an anomaly, a 6'11 guy, 6'10, 6'11, maybe even a 7-foot guy who can handle the ball, who can distribute the ball, who does a solid job rebounding? Yeah, he's great. What he does is second to none. He hitting everything that's in front of him. But what I have noticed about our brother Kevin Durant is this. When he's in a perfect situation, he excels. When it's a less than perfect situation, he just continues to score. The beauty in the Kobe Bryants, the Allen Iversons, the Michael Jordans, and the LeBron Jameses of the world, no matter what the situation is, they seem to do what's best. I've never seen Kevin Durant do that on a regular basis. I've never seen Kevin Durant do that on a regular basis. And until he starts doing that, I do believe he will continue to just be one of the greatest scorers of all time. And the naysayers will always be able to throw it in his face. Well, Kevin, the only reason you have a championship is because you went to Golden State. With that being said, let me get to the National Football League. National Football League, we're in the middle of the preamble for the Super Bowl. This week is the warm up so they can talk about all the stuff that didn't happen and should happen and could happen and would have happened. And then next week we'll be doing media week and we'll be talking about the football game and things of that nature. Chief Seats will be back with a Super Bowl show. Be ready. We ain't been on in a few weeks. Be ready, get ready, stay ready. You don't have to get ready. With that being said, I got a question. I have a question. It's serious as cancer. Who can make the average dance hype as a heart attack? Nobody's smiling. Y'all don't know about that. Y'all young street punks. Y'all don't know nothing about that. I'm gonna get to that in a second, my man. That's my man Patat. Thank you for staying on and participating. Thank you, Big Mo, for being a part of the show. But what I want to do is ask y'all this. Ask you guys this. Here's the question. Here's the question. Here's the phrase that pays. This is a question for you. Should the Super Bowl be moved from a Sunday to a Saturday? Should the Super Bowl be moved from Saturday to Sunday? It's an interesting situation, if you ask me. A lot of people, Dan Patrick presented it. I presented this opportunity about 3 years ago, and now Dan Patrick is asked the question, so people give Dan Patrick the credit for my idea, and I'm cool with that. I mean, ain't nobody. It's an idea. They're a dime a dozen. But my man Patar says he's like Sunday. Me personally, Patar, I would like Saturday. If anybody else would like Sunday, please put it in the chat room. But I would like Super Bowl Saturday. The reason I would like Super Bowl Saturday, a lot of us do Super Bowl parties. And it's easier to go out and enjoy the nightlife after you've won the Super Bowl on a Saturday versus a Sunday. And then a lot of us take a little extra to drink. Some people do a little extra smoking. Some people throw a couple extra cigars in the air. We tend to overdo it on that Sunday. And I bet you, if you check the work scrolls of everybody in the history of the world, it's probably a whole lot of people calling in Monday morning after Super Bowl Sunday. This is why I would love to see Super Bowl Saturday. Super Bowl Saturday would be better. You're getting 2 weeks off, and you only gonna play 1 day early. And then everybody gonna continue. If your team wins, you can continue to party. And then you got Sunday to recover. Some of us, we're going to get up and go to church. But, it's easier and more feasible to get up and go to church at 9 and be there at 9 or 10 than it is to get up and go to work tomorrow. That's all I'm saying. I think Super Bowl Saturday would be better, especially like this year. It's in Vegas. Do you want to party Sunday to Monday, or do you want to party in Vegas Saturday to Sunday? If you wherever you are, if it's in New York again, you want to party in New York on Saturday, Sunday. If in Miami, you want to party in Miami on Sunday. If it's in LA, so forth and so on. If it's in Dallas, if it's wherever it is, with one of these domes, don't you want to kick it all Saturday night? Have a great time. It's not gonna kill you. They're moving games on Saturday anyway. We're doing playoff games on Saturday. I think it would be advantageous to the fan, the player, the league, everything. It ain't like a whole lot of people sitting around watching TV anymore on Saturdays anyway. Ain't nobody staying in to watch Heart to Heart and the Love Boat and Fantasy Island anymore. For those people who are way younger than me, sucks to be you. Your Saturdays suck probably because those were good shows. With that being said, I do believe we need to move ourselves into this situation where it's a Super Bowl Saturday. Do yourself a favor. If you agree with that, don't only put it in this chat. Go to Twitter, go to Facebook, go to the NFL. Say, put it in there, man. I was just listening to rap and hold my beer and NFL, and then you can tag them in. It should be Super Bowl Saturday. Super Bowl Saturday sounds weird now, but guess what? Just 55 years ago, Super Bowl sounded stupid. And look at it now. It's the biggest event in all of sports. The biggest event of all of sports. So, National Football League, do your fans a favor. Make Super Bowl on Saturday so we can kick it extra hard. Extra hard. Just something to think about. Something to think about. It is, like my man Patah said, it's a work day. Next thing you know, I'm going to talk about the world famous America's team. Dakota Rain Prescott is being shot through the grease. You got CeeDee Lamb's mama. CeeDee Lamb's mama. Talking reckless about this dude. Why are you talking about somebody that's I understand your teammates. This thing, the media tries to say, well, if he's saying something bad, that means his mama's saying something bad, that means he's going home. Or his mother's a football fan and wants her son to win the championship. We're not going to get all involved in that. What I don't like about the entire thing is this, people. This is what I don't like. I don't like that the team owner has come out and given a backhand compliment. That's like saying, man, your suit nice, but you're kind of musty. My suit nice, but I'm musty. You could have just kept that musty part to yourself. Jerry Jones came out yesterday and said, I told y'all last year, a couple years ago when I signed him to the contract, we're going to go as far as Dak take us. And you saw where he took us, and that's it. No, I still got his back. Dak, like your brother said, I will leave the Cowboys. I'm going to be in trouble for that. And people, my loved ones don't want me to say that. But I would leave. I would leave Dallas. And for the people that don't think you're good enough, tell you what, all you have to do, the people in Dallas that don't like Dak Prescott, it's amazing how this week everybody blamed Dan Campbell because Dan Campbell did something. I'm going to talk about that later in the show. Dan Campbell did something he did all year. And nobody was upset with Dan Campbell for doing it all year. And because y'all don't watch the Lions, he continued to do it. And y'all let the people on ESPN and probably on Fox Sports and the rest of these podcasts and other people who don't actually watch the game, who don't really pay attention, y'all let them, and y'all blame the coach. Y'all immediately blame the coach in all these other places. But with Dak Prescott, there's no balance in the team or offense, and then they want you to do it. I have watched for years. People continue to try to put the cape on quarterbacks. As soon as you put the cape on the quarterback chokes, and then y'all sit back and make excuses. Perfect example, Brett Favre. He came into the thing with Ahman Green, Dorsey Evans, and a host of other running backs. And when the playoff starts, win it for us, Brett. No, we know this running back carried you into the playoffs, but Brett, we want you to win it for us because you're the man. Dun, dun, dun. Nope. And he choked more times than he didn't. Same things with Aaron Rodgers. Same thing with Aaron Rodgers. You for years, he was the league MVP. And guess what? Without balance, see, it's different. It's different when you playing Joe Blow this week and Fred and Jack and Manny Moore and Mark the next 3 weeks. It's easy to beat those teams. It's easy to beat the Bears or the Lions at that point when Aaron Rodgers was the king of the roost. It's easy to beat those teams because your division was struggling. You had a third place division. record and you had a relatively sorry schedule. But now when you get to the playoffs, these are the best teams and the best coaches and the worst situations for a team that is one-sided. If you had Aaron Jones, just like Jordan Love did, and then they have a balanced offense, you win more, especially with your skills. And Dak Prescott had the same thing. We can look at Dak Prescott didn't show up. He continues to lose. Or we can look at the reality of the situation. The Dallas Cowboys got punched in the mouth by the Buffalo Bills because they had an offense that was running it down their throats. They ran a dime package. For those who are new to the program, a dime package is 11 men on defense. That means it's 4 people that are big and strong, offensive linemen, and bigger linebackers. And then there's the other 7 people. The other 7 people are 185-pound men. They're playing DB, safety, and things of that nature. When you're running the football, 170-pound man, he definitely has the ability and the skill to tackle, but the likelihood of him taking down a running back running downhill is slim and none. That's why the Dallas Cowboys lost the game. It was a poor game plan. Dak didn't execute the way he did all season, but that's neither here nor there. When you have a quarterback not living up to his expectation, you balance it with the run. Just like in the previous segment I talked about, running the football, laying the ball up versus shooting threes. If your 3-point shot is off, you drive to the hole, you get fouled, you hit the free throw. If your quarterback is not on his game the way you want him to be, you run the ball down the other team's throat. This is not happening in Dallas. Nobody's talking about it. But Dak Prescott, you had your whole locker room turn their back on you. You're in an advantageous situation. You can actually sign an extension with 2 more blank years to help the team bring in more talent. You help them bring in more talent. You help them sign Michael Parsons. You help them sign CeeDee Lamb, and then make those 2 years unguaranteed. Guarantee that $50 million over a few years, and this is what you do. You hack the heck up. That's what I would do, because guess what? People in Dallas, without him, you're going to realize Dak Prescott is not your problem. It's other things that are your problem. With that being said, that moves me over to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, these team ownership groups, the owners, I understand you're a billionaire, you paid all this money, you make all this money, you're paying all this money, whatever. I ain't gonna get into it, but you're talking all this stuff about the money that you're paying, and it's time to make these things happen. Pittsburgh Steelers said it's time for us to win another game. Well, Mr. Rooney Jr., you seem to have hired a general manager that cannot determine if a quarterback is the man. Don't try to lay this at Mike Tomlin's feet. Look, I'm not making excuses for Mike Tomlin. But all I know is this: it's extremely difficult to win a football game without an adequate quarterback. It is win with because, and it's win with quarterbacks on a winning team. The Pittsburgh Steelers have not had a win because quarterback since Terry Bradshaw won his last 2. Ben Roethlisberger was not a win because, he was a win with. He'll make the Hall of Fame because he was on 2 Super Bowl teams. He'll make the Hall of Fame because he had a whole lot of highlights on ESPN. But Ben Roethlisberger used to consistently hit wide open linebackers and DBs on a regular basis. People are, Mike Tomlin ain't won a playoff game, won 2 playoff games in years. But I can remember distinctly at times that Ben Roethlisberger could throw the ball 35, 40 yards down the field. I can distinctly remember him going Pittsburgh into Foxborough and hitting wide open Patriots, going down to Jacksonville and throwing 4 to 5 interceptions, and then at the end of the game it's still close, and then they lose because he threw his 4th or 5th interception. I've seen this on a regular basis. I could see him hitting Cleveland Browns as if he was playing. You from Ohio, but you ain't playing for the Browns. See, it's easy to always blame the coach, even though it's somebody that's probably watching. Oh, well, you just blame that for Dak. No, I didn't excuse Dak's poor play. I blame the coach for poor execution of a stupid game plan. Pittsburgh Steelers, on the other hand, they've had great game plans, and they've had a signal caller who didn't have the ability to execute the game plan, and that's why they didn't do it. All I'm saying is this, Mike T, if you and the Pittsburgh Steelers want to win, this is what you do. Russell Wilson is at a discounted price, and I'm gonna back up to the Cowboys after this. Russell Wilson is at a discounted price. Most quarterbacks are making $45, close to $50 million a year. Russell Wilson, on the other hand, is going to make $39 million this year. And in NFL circles, that's a bargain. You got a coach in Denver who does not want Russell Wilson, who has not wanted Russell Wilson his entire coaching career in Denver. He walked in the door and dissed them, talking about he's too busy shaking hands and kissing babies, as if, and to quote Ryan Clark, nobody in New Orleans kissed more babies and shook more hands than Drew Brees. He didn't want them. He walked in the door not wanting them. It wasn't his guy. Sean, stop disrespecting him, because, hey, if you'd have did that to the right person, you could have potentially got Spreewell. Understand this, Pittsburgh Steelers. Get rid of that young quarterback. Send him over to the genius they call Sean Payton. Go get Russell. You could potentially win the Super Bowl. I guarantee you, if you got Russell Wilson and those two backs that you had, and that defense comes back under the leadership of Mike Tomlin, you could do exactly what Bill Cowher did. Win a Super Bowl, go to a Super Bowl at the worst, ride off into the sunset on your last year of your contract, tip your hat, and tell them the KMA. That's what I would do, Coach T. Back to the Cowboys. My main man, Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is up for $59 million. Let's talk about that number. $59 million is a number that's on the cap hit for the Dallas Cowboys. The thing that I don't like about that is this. The reason that cap hit is so high is because, guess what? If he would have signed Dak to the extension, the same time Jason Goff got his extension and his contract ends this year, and he's making $29 million, guess what would have happened? Dak Prescott would be underpaid right now. So if you wonder why Dak Prescott is getting paid $59 million, it's because the team owner did not want to pay him. My man Patar made this statement. He said, the refs in that Raven game versus Chief were horrible, bro. You know what? The Ravens Chief game, the refs, I didn't really have a problem with the refs. You know what I had a problem with? I had a problem with the fact that they're the number one rushing team in the National Football League, the number one rushing team in the National Football League this season. And they ran, without counting Lamar scramble, they ran the football 6 times. You got Edwards in a contract year. You got my man from Minnesota. I can't think his name right now. Oh my God, I'm having brain fart. You had my man in Minnesota, from Minnesota, a big time running back, a Pro Bowl running back, an All Pro running back on your bench. He got asked to be let go from the Jets so he could sign with you, and you didn't run him at all. That's foolish. That's asinine. That is the stupidest thing I've seen in my life. Again, if you've been running it down people's throat, why would you ask Lamar, who's being under duress and pressure the entire game, why would you have him run the ball that many times? This is not thinking. This is not good football. This is why Andy Reid stepped out of his own way and then had Pacheco running it down the Ravens' throat. The defense kept him in there long enough. It was a couple of mishaps, some fumbles, a touchback, and that's why I personally believe the Ravens lost. It was poor coaching. The next thing on the docket is the Detroit Lions, and then I'm about to shut this down. The Detroit Lions. Everybody want to get mad at Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell has made a living. A couple of years ago, they won 4 games, and everybody's like, Dan Campbell don't know what he's doing. He's always going forward on 4. He needs to kick more field goals. Well, guess what? Dan Campbell he had a 500 season, almost 500 season last year, and then everybody said the Lions might be on their way this year. Dan Campbell did the exact same thing that he's done the entire time he was there. Him turning around the Lions, he didn't kick the football because he had confidence in his defense and confidence in the execution of his team. The easy, no-thinking way is to say he's stupid. Dan Campbell, he shouldn't have did it. If I would have, could have, should have. Shout out to Lou Rawls, rest in peace. But that's not what he does. He's sticking to his guns. This dude goes for it. We watched him do the same thing against the Dallas Cowboys late in the season. We watched him do the same thing to against the Dallas Cowboys. So why would he change now? Get out of here with that nonsense. Get out of here with that nonsense. Dan Campbell, tell you what, if the Raiders wouldn't have signed Antonio Pierce, or if the Bears feel like firing that goofball that they have at coach, I'll take Dan Campbell any day of the week. And since they playing the games on Sunday, even the Super Bowl up until they change it, I'll take him on the Bears twice on Sunday. My man Patar asked this question. Are the Bears trading Justin Fields? If the Bears trade Justin Fields, please send him to Pittsburgh or please send him to Atlanta. I think Raheem Morris is prime for that position in Atlanta. The young man is from the state of Georgia. He'll be playing in his hometown, and he's primed to take the next step in regards to quarterback. I don't think that this dude is a world beater. I don't think that he's the greatest quarterback in the world. But what I do believe is he has the ability to be a game changer. I think he's a better version of Jalen Hurts. He throws a little better than Jalen Hurts. He got a little more of an arm hand cannon than Jalen Hurts. He scrambles and is a much faster than Jalen Hurts. But I do believe under the right tutelage, again, coaching makes kings. Coaching makes kings. Patrick Mahomes came into this league as a gunslinger under the tutelage of my man Andy Reid and my man Ed sleeping with Bieniemy. Look at him now. He's arguably the greatest quarterback we've ever seen. So Chicago Bears, if you want to make Drake May your quarterback because he's a prototype, please go right ahead and do that. Do that, because then and then I don't have to split my fandom down the middle anymore. I could be a Bear fan as a Chicagoan and a Raider fan. Right now, I'm a Bear fan as a Chicagoan and a Raider fan by choice. If you get rid of Justin Fields and draft that dude Drake May, no worries. You don't have to worry about me rooting for the Bears ever again, because when y'all got rid of Lovey for no reason, I jumped right off that Bear bandwagon, and then you got Justin Fields, I jumped back on. See the parallel? The brother coach, the brother quarterback. I ain't ashamed. All I'm saying is this. If the Bears get rid of Justin Fields and draft Drake May, like I do believe they're going to do, I'm done. I'm off the bandwagon, and I might be off the bandwagon permanently. The homie out in AZ, he jumped off, and he's solely a Charger fan. Shout out to the Chargers with Jim Harbaugh. And if you get rid of Justin Fields and you draft Drake May, like I think you're going to do, I'm done. I'm done with the Bears permanently. Raider Nation for life. I've been a Raider fan since I was 6 years old because I like the color black for a multitude of reasons. But I'm done with the Bears. If y'all get rid of this boy and draft this dude, Drake May, out of North Carolina, I'm out. 2 fingers, 1 word, I'm out. All I got to say is all the people, the Mel Kipers of the world, and all these dudes who said Lamar Jackson wasn't going to be good, and the people who saying get rid of Justin Fields like Stephen A. Smith.
You better shut your white mouth. I'm not kidding you.
That's how I feel, Stephen A. That's how I feel. With that being said, it's almost time to go. It's almost time to go. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Please subscribe. Hit that like button. Hit that share. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tune in to your boy H-Rap every Wednesday. Hold my beer sports. And just like that, the show is over. Thank you, Mike Mayden, for coming on. Thank you, guys who came in. Thank you for the people on YouTube who hit that like button, hit that share. Tell a friend to tune in. I am H-Rap B. This is Hold My Beer Sports. I will see you tomorrow night, where I will have been the owner and proprietor of BS3 Network. He'll be on telling his life story, and I got a bunch of people coming on. This is the first episode of the 2nd season of Rapping with H-Rap. Yes, we are back. People telling their life stories, giving you inspiration and telling you what they've been through. 2 fingers, 1 word. I'm H-Rap, and I'm gone.
Jesus. I mean, trust me, man.